my last question is, what do you need help with? I am here as a customer acquisition coach, consultant. What do you need help with based on where you are now?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is the easiest thing. Yeah. I need to expand this business. I don't know how exactly, but I need to expand it. Expand it in this sense that at some point in time, I will not be as fashionable as I am now. I will not be as interesting as I am now because I'm getting older and older. At some point, the brand need to somebody younger to work with for specific things. What do I do? This business that I'm in, how do I expand it so that it works for me 10 years to come? Even if it's not me exactly, but keep in a position where this would still give me something. I don't know if I'm making sense.
All right, once again, welcome to Fix My Marketing. And in this episode, I'm sitting down with a brother, someone that I don't think that he knows this. I've always wanted to collaborate with him. And I'm glad that we're starting it this way, but there's a number of projects that I would like us to collaborate. He is an entrepreneur, but mainly today we are talking to him at the level of a social media influencer. My good sir, welcome to Fix My Marketing.
Bayaga, thank you for having me. Thank you for I had your contact almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We used to talk. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we did.
I wanted to sell the t-shirts, if you remember.
I don't remember that. Now you're also I don't know how.
So I used it, like your number. It's you can't find.
Oh, snap.
Like there was a time I called you, I was home. Yeah. I think most of it is
I'm still there. That's the thing.
You see, I remember. Otherwise, how are you doing?
No, man, I'm good. I'm good, and I think, like I said in the introduction, I think I've always wanted us to do a bit of collaboration. I like how you conduct yourself, even within the space of content creation and social media influencing. You're one of the people that I believe in this country takes his craft more serious than a lot of people think.
It's a business.
It's a business, and a lot of people don't think that.
Yeah, they don't say that.
They don't think so. Yeah,
for now it's just for vibes.
It's vibes. It's all of that. Yeah, and sometimes I look at it, I'm like, this brother is so intentional in how he, prepares himself or how he presents himself on social media. You won't see him in the social media beefs. You won't see him in all of these things, and I don't think that's coincidence. That's by design.
That's by design.
It's like that.
Brand position.
Hey, people don't see that, and I see that, and I always admire from a distance. I'm like, okay, what can we do with this guy? What can we do? So
at least now we have something.
We have something. We have a starting point. And just for context sake, for everyone, for someone who's watching this for the first time, I am starting a show. Or I decided to start this show, Fix My Marketing, for one reason, right? I've been working with small businesses for the past 5 years, helping them with digital marketing. And I've also been in business for more than 10 years. So I understand the space of running a business. I mean, you said I used to print t-shirts. I've even forgotten that we have done that. So the biggest part that I've seen, at least in my experiences with small businesses, is that most people do not understand what we mean when we say marketing. And for the bigger part, the biggest thing that frustrates most businesses is how do we acquire customers as businesses. So your scenario is a bit interesting first because, like we said, most people don't think this is a business, but it is a business, and you have to advertise yourself as much as you're also advertising other people's brands. You understand? So the conversation is on that, to kind of look into what you're doing, and then from how I understand customer acquisition to be like, to then say to you, I think this you're doing well, maybe you should tweak here and tweak here to make it a bit more, better. And I normally say this, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to expose you and make you feel like I'm doing something wrong or I'm not, It's just us having a conversation for our sake, both of us, but also it's for the benefit of a lot of other people who don't get to sit with me in the context to then say, okay, I would like to be like him, but what is it that I'm doing that I could improve on based on the conversation that we're having? Anyway, not to stretch this hard, because I wanted to give that context very well. Let's hear or talk about you. Who are you for someone who doesn't know you, and what do you do?
Introductions,
my brother. Introductions.
Okay. Tulo Alfred Junior Motau,
AKA
King of the South. I'm commonly known as King of the South.
Sure.
In short, it's courts. You know what you put but it's about Jamangata, like I don't know.
Okay.
Means King of the South.
I didn't know that. I was here courts and then AKA King of the South, but I didn't connect.
King of the South is the same
abbreviation.
thing.
Yes, that's interesting.
So because it was long, so
okay. Awesome.
So Courts is a social media influencer. Courts is an ambassador, and Courts is a hustler in the streets because Courts is a business. But that is Courts.
That is God's.
Yes.
So before you got into social media influencing, what were you doing?
After graduation, and couldn't find work, and then I started selling. This is where I came in contact with you. I started selling. So the back then I came back home. I still did the same thing. So basically, business again interested.
Okay.
Yes.
And the sneakers
I still sell the partial sneakers and stuff like that. So that is my business.
Awesome.
So eBay. Then I came into the social media business.
Okay. So how did you get into the social media business or influencing?
By default, really.
Okay.
Because if you can remember, back then, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a business. 100%. It wasn't. You didn't have corporates engaging people to post for them and stuff like that.
Sure.
So yes, when we started, because we're not going to Facebook,
TikTok,
they came later. So it was just Facebook. So it was just for vibes, to be honest. But being a dynamic person, and then you started seeing, you started meeting people, you started meeting brands saying, we would love to do something with you. Can we do this? Can we do that? And then it hit me over. This might really be something. Something in essence of it.
Okay.
So then I started taking it seriously. This might be something. Until I got my first gig. I think my first gig my first big gig in F&B. That changed everything for me because it changed my whole outlook. And just for entertainment, just to see it. This is not just entertainment. This is business.
Sure.
Getting paid every month to sustain your family, to sustain yourself.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So a question that I've been asking myself, I asked you about this and you didn't hesitate. Like when I asked you to come into the show, you almost immediately said yes and said, where do we start? What made you say yes to coming here?
To be honest, every opportunity that I get, that I think it's a chance for me to grow and it's a chance for somebody else to grow, because I saw that you had just started this podcast. So I checked the direction of the podcast and I saw that this is very serious. This person is very intentional about what they're trying to do. This is not just, we are not just going to come here and gossip and stuff like that. There's something serious over here. So I like that. That is the first thing that attracted me to the podcast.
Sure.
The second thing, every chance that I get to try to educate, to try to get people to understand what we do, I want to take it, because I think we are the pioneers of this thing in social media influencing, and it's on us to educate so that they can see that this can be a way of life. There's no work. it's been 15 years, but graduate, you've never worked. It means, okay, this might be somebody else's footpath.
Sure.
So they need to understand the simple dynamics of it, the
100%.
simple basic business ethics. It's what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to check out? What is it that, so any chance that I get, it's on the platform, I will definitely take it.
I guess that's the mindset that a lot of people don't understand, that if you want to grow, if you want to go further, you have to always be open and be willing to learn from other people.
Yes.
Even those that you think they are.
Yes.
You have to be willing to sit and say, okay, what is it that I can take out of this?
Take something.
From failures. So I think I like that. I like that about you. Like we said, social media influencing is a business.
Yes.
For someone who doesn't understand and who is not fully yet convinced that social media influencing is a business, what would you say it is that you sell to brands that pay you as a social media influencer?
Okay. The brand, they before you get engaged, they check you out. They look at to you, what you represent, where you stand with this, what you do, how you react to this and that and that and that and that. But what they are looking for, basically, they have a customer base that they want to tap in.
Yeah.
So they look at me, and then they look at my followers, or age group thing. Is this their target? Market. So this is where you get engaged. They engage you for that. So now I'm paid for content creation. I'm paid for brand visibility. I'm also paid for the sales. Depending on advertise somebody.
Sure.
Essentially is to increase the sales of whatever they are trying to sell. Be it information, be it products, but I'm selling for them. So that is what I do for the brand. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think you touched on it, Hanyana, when you said why people come to you.
Yes.
What I want to ask you is, how do brands usually find or discover your work?
This is the trickiest part.
Yeah.
The trickiest part, Corey, when it comes to social media influencing, you do not apply and say, hi, I'm Quartz, I would love to work with you. I love your brand, I believe in your brand, I'm loyal to your brand. You don't do that. What you do, you be consistent with what you're doing, and they will look for you. So they do it without you knowing, or they are looking into it. So which means, this is where the dynamic ethics and stuff, they come in, because this is what they're looking at. What kind of things does he engage in? Does he engage in the topics controversial? Does he engage in politics? Does he engage in fights? Does he engage in social media beefs? Does he engage in everything that is trendy? And then that's what banana alignment as a brand. Na align represent, and then if they feel this is our guy, because we feel like our brand and his brand can align, this is where the collaboration comes in. So but another you are looking, you don't know that they are looking. This is why I'm saying it's a tricky part, because you can say, I want to work with this brand, I love this brand so much, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because you cannot go to them and say, here's my resume, I would love to work with you, until they call you and say, they call you and say, we would love to have a meeting with you. And then you have a meeting, you have a set, we have a brand, this is our brand, this is what we do. We would love to have a collaboration lawyer now. What do you think? And then now you have to be open to the idea, listen to the idea, and be honest with yourself, because sometimes, because we are so hungry for work, that comes our way. You know that we are not going to be aligned, that's all. Because you have to have that alignment, so that it has to be a brand that you love, it has to be a brand that you believe in, it has to be a brand that you see going forth, Leo. So that whatever you're going to do going forward, it doesn't just sound like, it doesn't scream work. Because if it screams work, it's not going to do what you want. It will frustrate. First thing, you're going to be very frustrated because every time you have to do something, it's not in you to do it. You have to dig so deep. So content the holiday is not going to be authentic because how not that synergy. Sure. So I get a fellow motion. Okay, brand ambassador ba Maluti Mountain Brewer. If negi se motho a consumer alcohol, this wouldn't work.
Sure.
At all.
It wouldn't, yeah.
It really wouldn't work because I don't have to say buy this and this and this and this. No, I just have to make it fashionable. I have to make it look cool and I have to make people see that you can do this thing and be responsible, standard while you're still consuming this product. So imagine if I didn't use the product. How would I advertise the product? It wouldn't work. So first things first, now go get on one meeting. You have to find the alignment. Be sure this is something I can do. It doesn't have to have everything to do with money. Really, for everything else, am I going to be able to be loyal to this brand? Because brand loyalty, first thing.
So how does that conversation go? Like, say someone recognizes you.
Yes.
They do their own vetting on the side.
Yeah.
From what you're saying, I'm feeling like you also have to do your own vetting of the brand.
Yes.
To see whether or not it's fitting within what you're trying to build. How does that conversation go? Like when the brand contacts you, do you already have like pre-conditions to say I can work with this brand because 1, 2, 3 or?
I think for me, I always try to ask the right questions. When we have a meet, before we have a meet, because I care about all it is before you meet. So you have to have questions. If you have things that you need to inquire about before you're making that decision, make sure that you ask the questions. How am I going to work? How long is this going to be? What is expected of me? All that, so that from that meeting, you know exactly what is expected and you know that you're going to be able to meet the requirement. Also, you have to have your requirements.
Sure.
Okay, now that I'm going to be working Vodacom Lesotho, I would love to have this and this and this and this.
Sure.
So that it's easy. So we negotiate. They will negotiate and you will also negotiate. If you're going to do this, Wi-Fi. And then so that next time how to Wi-Fi is you will be able to experience the customer experience. Now, so that when you give the report as motor on the ground,
you have experienced the product yourself.
You understand the product. You love the product. You use the product. Why consume? Because highly you becomes it's a content that will be relatable because you talk about things you understand. You talk about things you know. If you say, Mama, you say you're saying this. You are on the table. You are chowing the food. Then you're saying,
Sure.
Somebody comes and says,
100%. You said something interesting earlier, where businesses come to you because they are interested in the audience that you have.
Yes.
They are interested in that. What would you say? How do I ask this? What would you say is the type of the audience that you have? What is your niche? Like, how would you describe, okay, this is my audience as Scots?
Okay, I think first of all, age group. The age group we are working on mostly between 27 and somewhere to 45.
Okay.
So because I'm checking the dynamics, the analytics, so the analytics taking a little. People who are, so that is the first thing. If you are saying, you want to sell a car, a company that sells cars, and you know about what and buying power, you're not going to look for somebody who's 22 years old just because they have the big numbers.
Sure.
Because they don't have
the audience that you're looking
audience eno ya batho ba bakalo ba ga etsa ntweng. Same thing goes for mohlala insurance le yona the life cover and stuff. You know gona target ya hao ke batho ba baka. You know gona batho be leng hore they are most likely to engage in terms of insurance na ke batho ba baka. So this is what they are looking at. They will still say the same thing and say I go romelle the analytics tsa hao go bona gona analytics tsa hao di re. Then they check, okay fine, on a view tse kana, on a group tse kana, on a demographic e kana between men and women.
And
they can also check gona in terms of dinaha ona batho ba kae na info na batho ba kae info, because obviously le bona they are still trying, they want to extend their reach from within the country ba khona go tswela kantle le batho ba be ke ba Lesotho ba kantle ba nne ba tsebe ka di product tsena, so that when they come in the country, first things first ba tla ba consumer the product tsena tsabo. So these are the type of things. It's very important for me as a social media influencer to understand my analytics or na di representa na di bolela e. It's not just views. What do the views di bolela e?
Sure.
Engagement e bolela e, because I can have a very high number of views ka engagement e class.
Yeah.
It means we are not communicating. It means nali audience we are not communicating. If I'm trying to sell this and we are not communicating, how do I know? Okay, so I need to know. Okay, Babula, they are communicating. They are saying yes, we are happy with the product. We are not happy with the product. We like the product. Can you improve on this? Can you improve so that I can take the feedback to my employer and say, but they are very happy
with this.
But ba kupa 1 2 3 4 5 kapa batho ba bona ba kupa retse easy ba laga easy ebe easy me fly kena ntongwe lengwe ba mna, because I think that is my work as a social media influencer. Ke motho account level, my work is to talk with the people, communicate with the people, make communication easy so that I understand what they want, gona ba laga gona ba khotsofaletseng gona ba khotsofala, and then take the feedback ke go tsetsa to the employer and say this is the feedback concerning this product in the push. If we are doing this another product, it's the same thing again. Yes.
Awesome. From what I'm listening to you, you have two types of content that you create. You have the content that you create generally for the people that follow you.
Yes.
And you have content that you create for the brand.
Yes.
What's the process like? You know, for you to find that sweet spot where you're like, I still need to get my people focused on me, interested in my own content, versus now you have, because I know that you work with a number of brands, not just one brand, it's a couple of brands, and that's very impressive. But then you have to find that balance, because if you're constantly always trying to sell to
all
them,
the time,
you will
they get bored.
You understand?
They get bored
so
very
walk
easily.
me through that process.
This is another tricky part. You have to keep the people entertained. Understand that you've built a community, and you didn't build this community by advertising for brands.
Of course,
you build it in a different way.
Sure.
So for me, it will always be fun stuff like jokes, videos, and stuff like that, because you have to keep these people entertained. Because if you talk about brands every day, they are going to be very bored. And when they get bored, they do not engage at all. Because your wall, all the time. So now you will say, okay, fine, let me try to align Tabayaga and post. I will do a post in saying a brand, and then 2 hours later I do something totally different, something social, something funny, something basic, something that people can laugh at, something that people can enjoy, something that we can just engage in. So people, this is where they get very lost, because this is where they engage in the dramas and then fights and everything, because they are trying to get these people and about to write controversy. So controversy, the worst part of controversy, when it's not there, you have nothing. You will have to involve yourself in controversies all the time so that you are interested to where. And that is not what you want. Brand influencing, because brand influencing, they do not want that. That is one thing I want to say badly. Involved in those kind of things. So find your niche, find something you say, this I know I can do, and I can do it so well. nothing hectic, nothing that is going to offend anybody. I'll talk about social issue setting because there's always something that is happening that you can talk about. Who were just shot. This is something to talk about. It's worth talking about because we really need to express what So you give people that they have opinions but they do not have their platform. You create a platform for them. This and this and this. So you really need to find things in between. So post and they will keep these people interested because if they are not, it becomes a problem because they are not interested in what you are going to say. So it's very important to find that. So you're not tricky because if I can put it like that, all the time. Because sometimes they will just be waiting for you to say, just the small thing, just small thing, so that they can just grab onto it and just start fighting you. But that small thing, So finding something to post all the time, because also remember that you need the consistency of posting every day, so that you keep getting more followers, you keep getting more engagement on the page. So how can I post once in 2 days, once in 3 days? It dies down. It dies down. And then I go back and post they are just not there.
2 last questions before we do the final part. Is you are in business, and as a business you need to get customers, the brands. Which are the brands? What is it that you're constantly doing to make sure that beyond, first of all, it's in 2 parts. You keep the ones that are already in to keep working with you, and also you get more, brands to work with. And maybe in addition to that, is there a point where you say, okay, I've gotten enough brands to work with now, I don't want more? Like, is there that threshold, 10 is enough, I can't do that? So first, what do you do to make sure that you keep getting those brands and you keep the ones that are already
let's start about keeping the ones that I have. I think one thing I'm always trying to do is to give it my all. I gotta give it my all. I will go above and beyond. If the scope of work says, okay, fine, we just want, we're talking about the brand is over a long period of time. It's like over a long, because you want to impress these people. They say scope of work is we want posted 6, for instance. We want posted 6 per month. I will always make sure that I go above and beyond that. I will not just do the 6.
Sure.
I will go my 18 and 10 wherever I can go above and beyond, I will definitely do that because I want to impress them to offer more than what they bargain for.
Sure.
Because this makes them that is one. So this is the type of person we really, really like working with. 2, I try to make work as easy as possible. Communication be smooth, be easy, so that sometimes communication it's very simple for them to just say calling I will change one to as it is, without argument, everything is smooth, everything is nice, everything is solid. It's very easy to work with.
The downside of shooting strategy
outside. So I think again one for the brand deals already interested. Today, Hadlante striver reach all the time. It's not on me to do it per se, but I try as much as I can. Poster ka nako e feng se ke le ke o sheba na ke bone audience ka e rata eng ka nako e feng ka nako e feng so ke a tseba so ga jana if mohlala it's event influencing do it in the morning. The minute they wake up, now go sometimes into the artist. The minute you say something fresh, if you want to post about the brand, you have more like about my 11 years morning. I go to settle it until the office. I saw about the laptop, I saw about the email. I go check
meeting your police.
Yes, sure. I go check the phone. You are there. Information is in safe. Tsena tsa bo di club tsa bo di nke ntho tsa di weekend go anana ke tsa towards the end of the week jwalo so ka hola tabeng ya go fela motho le go sheba bona o set up taba ha ya poster ka tsela mfuta of. What was the second one?
The second one is how are you positioning yourself to get more? And is there a point moving no?
That's the
threshold.
Yeah, to get more. I think it is for go now. The minute you get the first one, now how do you execute the contract with the first one? How do you do it, or we push it? Because this is where people are always doing. They are always watching.
Sure.
You're working with a certain brand. They are looking at you now. What are you doing for this brand? Is he doing well? Do we think he's doing well? Has something changed ever since I got out with the brand? And the minute they start seeing that you're not interested, because every time they come, they will always say, "We saw your work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We saw your work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We saw your work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want you to do what you used to do for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." It is a modeler to that specific brand. But to deal, and again, why the disadvantage is because meaning it's a big problem. Because everybody want to vet somebody else.
Sure.
They want to vet you somebody else.
Yeah.
So what if you haven't got a chance to work with somebody, but you know that you are very good, you can be very good with doing something.
Sure.
So this is where exposure. That's why they really hate the word exposure, but now I don't want to laugh. It works.
It works, yeah.
It works. You just have to be very intentional about how you do it. It's about you're just doing it because people are asking you to do it. They are telling you to do it. But yeah, it's because we're now positioning we position the hand to move on. If I do this for this brand, this might do something for me. The first gig that I got a very, very small. It was very small.
Sure.
But it was important for me because it was a stepping stone.
Sure.
It was a stepping stone. I look at it now and say, hey.
I wouldn't take that.
But it was very important for me then
to
take it so that I put myself out there so that people start saying. Or you meet somebody who says, I don't really care, and they say, I really care, and then you start saying, you start there. You all have to start somewhere. You start there and say, I know, I will help you do this thing.
Yeah.
And you keep doing it consistently. And then somebody says, I love what you're doing for this. It's a very small business, but you're doing this so well. I think you can do this for a bigger business or a bigger brand. Can you work with us on this? And then if you say, this is where you start earning more money and more money and more money and more money, because it's like being an artist. If you have one song, it's going to be different when you have an album. You have an album and then you say, this is how much I want for a booking. You go internationally, you come back, you say, this is how much I want now.
Sure.
Now, when Brandon's prices out on the whole 100 casually, the third one, I don't know what's the third one.
The third one is there
a limit.
A limit. Sure.
Like I said, we are hungry.
We want the money.
We want the money. This is a problem sometimes because you take too much work and you become so overwhelmed by work.
Yeah.
It consumes you.
Sure.
It consumes you to a point where you forget yourself as a brand or now representer. Because now, every day, every post is about the brand, which is something we were talking about earlier. This is something you do not want. You don't want to be posting about brands all the time.
Sure.
It doesn't work.
Sure.
So because we are hungry, sometimes we do that. Overwhelmed. So now for me, honest, if can I brand I'm good. Small businesses, restaurants and stuff, because I don't want to compromise my work. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it's all time. It's too sharp. It's all Fanaga, you don't feel like you're giving it the cake that we know. But for us, we don't feel like it. It's because really you're overwhelmed with so much work. So if you say, can I brand is a 5? I know I can post for this brand on Monday, for this one on Tuesday, for this one on Wednesday, for this one on Thursday, and it's not spontaneous. It works. But it doesn't have to be too much. Just because you are saying, I want to pay out 30,000 in a month. Maybe you get that payout, but you're so consumed by this thing. You're so overwhelmed by this thing to a point we entertain the community that you've built.
And now you forget. Yeah.
So you forget them because now what I'm half money. Have money the number study, but have money the feature, but have money the engagement. Yeah, but because now when I like on that other side, because you've consumed yourself with so much work. So I think it's important if you are in a position where you can weigh options and say, should I take this one? Can I take this one? Can I take this one? This one I cannot take because if I take this one, since you know, you'd rather just do that. Yes.
Awesome. I have to say this. You have such a solid approach to business within the social influencing space. I've observed from a distance. I have made my own judgments based on how you're doing, and I'm happy to see that what I perceived is actually the reality of what you're actually living on a daily basis. You have a clear understanding of what you're doing that a lot of people don't have. Having the distinction between I need to entertain my audience. It's important that I keep them entertained so that also they might grow, because you don't want to stay in the same audience.
It will stagnant.
Of course.
Yes.
And then you also have a responsibility on the other side to then deliver. We have a challenge as Basotho where you give someone an opportunity to do the work for you. They have been saying they can do the work, and then they do subpar work. And they are not communicating clearly. They are not delivering on what they said they were going to deliver. And then all of a sudden, someone is like, I don't want to work with brands. I mean, with local people, because these guys are not,
They're not giving me what I want.
And I would be willing to pay more for someone who comes outside.
And now, it's a bad thing because, generally, because Basotho as Basotho, I cancel and they would really, really, really put in the work. But when they are not, that's what watching. And then you go and get somebody from outside the country, and then you start crying.
Why? Who could do that?
That's the thing. And I cannot go to damaged because he tried giving people opportunities to do this thing, and they did not do it. They did not do it so well. So what also deliver hand doesn't also reflect good on you as Motahiwe. It reflects chance after, because now there's a template. You've created a template. This is what our influencer used to do.
Yeah.
So make sure that at least on this line or where
sure.
Oskaya.
So I've learned this. I'm satisfied with where you are, but I've learned that customer acquisition, it's a dynamic thing, it's a broad thing, and we understand in part what we need to be doing to truly build a business, especially with the location that we're in Lesotho. We're still operating 10, 15, 20 years behind the rest of the other countries in terms of technology, because you're operating within the digital spaces and all of that. My last question is, what do you need help with? Because I am here as a customer acquisition coach, consultant. What do you need help with based on where you are now?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is the easiest thing. Yeah. I need to expand this business. I don't know how exactly, but I need to expand it. Expand it in this sense that at some point in time, I will not be as fashionable as I am now. I will not be as interesting as I am now because I'm getting older and older. At some point, the brand did look like somebody younger to work with for specific things. So it's frustrating me. You're not frustrated more than anything to know. At some point in time, that time will come. I don't know when, but it will come. And I have to be ready when that time comes. So what do I do? This business that I'm in, how do I expand it so that it works for me 10 years to come? Even if it's not me exactly, but keep in a position where this would still give me something. I don't know if I'm making sense.
It makes absolute
that is one thing I would like to expand this business into something it can last for a very long time. You've been a hit for the last 10 years, and then after that 10 years, you don't know what to do because this is work. So you get frustrated. The contract they come, they go, they are good, they are short, they are long. I have no consistency. But what do I do to expand the business into a bigger business? What do I do to sustain it for Nagwiti?
That's the biggest part of it.
Yes.
So the reason I asked about if there's a limit to a number of customers that anyone would get was to understand how far you're willing to go in terms of the size and expansion of it.
Yes.
So just so that I truly understand what you're asking me, do you want to understand if you can diversify into other products or how you can expand beyond the borders of the country, or what do you mean by expansion?
The two actually.
Okay.
The two.
So you wanna expand doing the same
you
influencing?
can do the same thing.
Okay.
And make it bigger globally, and then you diversify. How do I diversify this business? Maybe into something else that can work. Because I'm thinking, the reason why business perform well is because I do the advertising myself. I do this. So the business each run basically. So I don't like that thing. A business because it means if I'm not there, the business dies. If I don't do it, the business dies. So you got something even beyond God. You the product that have nothing to do with God. The product is successful. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you're actually making sense. It's an interesting question. I want to be honest with you, but also it's a broad question to tackle in one instance. What I've learned, at least in a lot of other people who are doing content creation, is understanding what the value it is that you are giving to the brands. You're not gods, or you're not where you are because you're selling the products of brands. You are where you are because you're selling access into the audience that you have to the brands. And the reason I said I like where you are mentally and the understanding that you have, it's because I've realized that you understand that your value, your power lies on the audience that you have to say, gentlemen or ladies, I have access to this community. This community looks up to me. This community values the value I'm giving to them. You don't have access to the community. I do. So if you want entry into my community, I am the entry into that community, right? So the value in that is, as you engage with your community, you understand them better than even the brands understand your community, right? You know what they like, you know what they don't like, you know what makes them want to buy, because you engage with them in different products and all of those things. So business on its own, even beyond just social media influencing, developing a business, what you want is the relationship you have with your target customer. That's the most powerful thing. And the reason small businesses struggle is because they have not figured out yet what their audience or what their target customers want, what their target customers don't want. And it takes them years to get there. It takes them losing a lot of money. It takes them making a lot of mistakes to then say, wait a minute, our people like this. This is what makes them want to buy. This is what makes them not want to buy. You are in a position where, in a way, you are in a data mining business as a brand influencer, or as a brand, as an influence. You are in a data mining, so it is on you to see how best you can use that data, not just for the brands that collaborate with you, but also for your benefit as the person. You were an entrepreneur before you were a brand influence. You have been in business way longer than you have been a brand influence. And now you have cracked the secret code into the hearts of men and women who follow you. You know that. And you said another thing, I'm going to speak a few things, then I'll bring them. You said something also rather powerful. Why am I losing my thought on that? I don't know. I lost my track of thought. But the whole goal of it is you are in a data mining business. You are in a relationship building business. The most important relationship that you have is not with the brands. They are secondary. Yes. And they may not want to hear this, but they are secondary. Because the reason they have you, the reason they want to work with you is because of this primary audience that you have. And so it is on you now as a brand to then, as an individual or as a brand, as an influencer, to say, how do I invest everything that I have to growing this brand? Let's take Mr. Beast for instance. The guy started small. Whatever money that he was getting, he was reinvesting back into the people. Every chance he got, the money he reinvested back into the people, reinvested back, and his brand grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And all he does is, I want to emotionally connect with my people. And I don't want to emotionally connect with a small sector of people who know me around my own county or around my own community where I stay. I want to connect with people in a global sense. And now is, okay, here is my niche of people between 26 and this March. What is it that I already enjoy doing as Scots that I can expand on to grow my audience so much so that I have them emotional, or my relationship with them is so emotional that they, even as you grow, even as you evolve, even as things grow, they want to grow alongside you. They want to grow alongside you as a brand, right? So the trick is, you are in fashion now. You have to figure out what is it that you can do to reinvest yourself or the kind of content that you release back into the audience that you have, such that they want to be with you even as you evolve. There are things that are timeless. Some of the things, but then what do I do? This is the thought that I had lost in the other time, is understanding that or the power that you have as an entrepreneur is that you have to be willing to evolve, right? You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to adapt. As an influencer, you have a group of people that you are growing with. They are not stagnant in that 26 to 40. But now they are growing. You are also growing. So this is the same set of group. Because as you grow, di trends tsa batho ba tlang ka morao di a fapana le tseo di tsebang o so le motho a moholo o so ga e bana ntho tsena tse ba di etsang.
You can't be dancing.
You know what I mean? So you have that within you. You don't want to keep doing what you're doing. When you understand the data of the people that you're working with, you kind of have to constantly say, what can I do to now be relevant to the people that I'm drawing on in? Now, I want to bring in the whole issue of you are in the data mining business. When you are in that data mining business and you're growing your audience beyond 200,000 to 500,000 to 1 million and to 2 million, you now are in the best position to work with brands beyond Lesotho, who now say, there's this guy in Lesotho who creates content that we can relate with here in Ghana. You know, we want to work with this person. Your audience is now going to grow beyond the 2 million that you have. You're now going to have even more people from Ghana and from all of that and all of that. You're going to get to a point when you are 45, 50, where you are saying, wait a minute, there is a demand within the community that I have of a certain product that I have the capacity to build and sell myself as my own.
As my own.
You understand? So your worry is valid. It's something that you should keep in mind. But as you prepare for it, position yourself as a timeless influence who's not limited by time. Because it doesn't mean you are the only one who's growing. Your people are growing and they are aligning with you at the level of your own growth. You understand? So then I need to be evolving. I want to bring the thing closer to home. This guy, Wabotswana. Anagimanna, this boy, Wabotswana, Amoseu, who used to see William is an interesting case study. If you look at it, he started
the way he's so dynamic.
He's dynamic. He's this guy, what is and he started there consistently. Keep on hitting. Then he switched and went into music. And then you realize this guy could be serious and actually have an honest, emotional conversation. This guy is a family man. This guy is this, and he's smart. And now look at him, what he's doing. If you constantly watch his content at the moment, he's collaborating. That's all he's doing. Yes. Wherever he's going to US, going this, and wherever he is, he's collaborating.
And the interesting thing, I love the fact that he's still himself.
Yes.
Within the collaborations, he's still himself. He still does the kind of things you'd expect him to do.
100%.
So one of the challenges that where do you stand, who are you? This is something they sometimes they twist your hand because they want you to be and the problem with that, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, Janal. It's not, because they want the alignment. But the problem is if you forget yourself during that during that process,
you lose your people.
You lose your people.
Sure.
Because you've forgotten the type of like Eric gets there's a way that I talk. People know the way that I talk. My community knows the way that I talk. If I start making posts in English, start from top to bottom,
but
they are gonna nah. Sure. So like I remember this time I was with this other brand. So we engage the higher ups, but they were out of country. So they wanted me to make videos in English. I was like, no, this is not going to work out for us.
Because my community is not
because my community so in
that
mix of language and make things very easy to understand. Not talk about language that they do not understand. They will not understand.
Sure.
If I do it in English, I'm going to lose them because I want to get them involved too. If I do that, it would. So until they understood hopefully, this is the way I'm gonna do this thing, because you guys came to me because Lebanon kids in this particular way. So let's find a way to merge my brand and your brand so that it works. But loser
the people that I have,
the people that I have, because well, I'm trying to be somebody that I am not.
Sure.
And I have to jump back now to being that person.
100%, yeah.
So it was a challenge.
Yeah, and you're very right. Now, back to Mr. Beast. He's grown so much that now he's building products, actual products, where he's selling to the people, and because he understands his community. And his selling point is this: buy this thing so that I can still continue to do the work that I'm doing. He does a lot of community work. He does a lot of this. He does a lot of, and he understands where his niche lies in, what triggers them, what ticks them, and what makes them want to keep watching what he's watching. So your goal now as an influencer is to position yourself in a way that has to be or grow beyond Lesotho. We have more Basotho outside of the country than we do in Lesotho. Just in the Free State alone, we have about almost 15 million Basotho just across the board. So, ignoring the issue of language, those guys can still understand where you are and how you're positioning yourself. So, you have to position yourself in a way that goes beyond just Masego to being beyond the borders. Now, you said something that I highly disagree with earlier. And this is not, like I said, it's not to say, this guy is terrible. I disagree with, you cannot go to brands as a social influencer to say, I can work with you. Simply because when you understand the value of what you're bringing and see where their product is. I mean, you said it yourself to say, I look at different brands, I say, I want to work with this brand because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. First, it aligns with who I am, it aligns with my values, this would come easily, it won't feel like work and whatnot. You have we are in business, and if we're in business and we want the money, you have to not wait for someone to call you. You can go and say, hey guys, so I've worked with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I love the product that you just launched on such and such, or I heard that you are launching such and such a product. I think, I don't think, I know. I know that I can actually help you to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these are the deliverables that I can do with the brand, with the product alone. The reason I do that is because I have this much influence on this much number of people, and with these people, they are actually people who are willing and ready to buy and spend on this product. I've worked with them for so long. I know that there's a huge demand with this. These are the conversations that we have had in my own post. It's a business, and if you want to make money, and you're a family man, and so you have a higher responsibility than Honamasu. So you now cannot afford to wait for someone to come to you when you want to be the one who goes to you. And sometimes even to break beyond the borders of the country, it would mean scouting for brands outside of the country to say, hey guys, this is me. This is what I've worked with in Lesotho. But look at my demographics. I have this many people. Of this many people that I have, this much percentage of my people are that side. And they need your product. So I want to be able to do that. Right. I said that we are operating 10, 15 years behind a lot of other people. Technology has afforded us to position ourselves in a way that international brands who don't know about us can find us. Because brands who are looking for influencers are not just looking sometimes just on social media. They are also searching on Google to say, I want an influencer of this. And also there are other platforms that have placed themselves as like a marketplace for influencers, where you can put your own profile there and say, I am from Lesotho, I have this many, and I'm willing to work with the brands that do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's it. So my suggestion to you, beyond the one of saying how do I expand, so that I stay relevant even as I grow, is right now invest in a website. A website, because now we're switching things up and saying Gods is not just a local. I'm not a local hustler who's just there. I want to position myself so that international brands realize that I am a serious brand. Because in Lesotho, we don't mind working with you through social media. International brands want to email you, not on the Gmail email account. They wanna, yes, they can do that, but they want to go to the website and say, who is this guy? What does he do? What brands has he worked with? And then to say, okay, what are packages that he's offering as a brand? Basic packages, or if I work with you, at least the basics are this. Based on the scope of work, I can do as much, and I charge from here to here. What's the line of communication? How easy is it for us to get in touch with him? I get a lot of contacts from outside of the country. People who want to have billboards in the country, because my agency, Billboard 21, is a digital marketing agency, but I've positioned it such that when you search on Google, you find it. You are searching for businesses in Lesotho, you find it. I get calls from outside the country who are like, that we would like to work with you. Do you have a billboard? I'm like, I don't have a billboard. I've switched to saying, yes, I do. And then I call.
What's up?
You understand? Yeah. Because then I've realized that I've positioned myself in a way that a lot of other people who are in the same business have not positioned themselves. Yes. So your target or your market or your customers are not the ones who just see you on social media. There's more who are searching for you who don't even know that you exist. Yeah. And so it is on you to then say, you know what, another way of expanding would be charging more, a higher charge, more than what I'm charging locally, because local people accept local charges. Yes. If you go outside of South Africa, the same work that you do, someone charges 300,000, charges 500,000. You could work for one brand and be okay. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. And that's your expansion plan. And from there now you can look at what other brands or what investment plans. You talk to boutique and say, guys, I have excess cash. Where can I invest this so that I invest for the future in case that I run out of fashion? What can I do? So just to wrap the conversation up, you are doing well, man. I have to give it to you. Overall, you are doing, and even when I was calling you, I knew that you were doing well, but I was kind of challenging myself to say, okay, is there something that we can talk about just beyond this? And with where you are, you're doing exceptionally well. I don't want to lie. But also there's still room for growth. As you said yourself, that you're always willing to see how far can I take this thing? How seriously can I just up a notch? So my advice for you, basic one that you can start with, is reinvest back into your community. I have a couple of suggestions that we are off camera on what can we do to collaborate and whatnot and see all of those things. But reinvesting back into your community so that it doesn't just relate to you out of just admiration or hey, I would like to get Hot Monday. I would love to, it needs to grow beyond to say, this is the guy, I love this guy. I will do anything that he asks because this guy cares about us. This guy sees us. This guy is this. That automatically will 10x your growth faster than most, and therefore it will position you to get or attract more brands. But when you attract more brands, now you have more power to say no to that, no to that, no to that. I want this. because you're paying well, but beyond paying well, you're doing what I enjoy doing. It's kind of easy to do, you understand? And the next thing is make it easy for brands that don't know you at the local level to find you. It goes without saying. A small investment into, even if it's not a website for now, but a small investment into an email, professional email,
Yes.
that you have in your own bio to say, for contacts or brand collaboration, contact me here, and make sure that you're constantly checking that to respond as quickly as possible. You have mentioned the value of open, easy communication when you deal with brands. Even those that are looking for you, their first impression of you should be, this guy is serious. If he responds this quickly to our email, he is now willing to have a conversation, with where we are. And the last thing is, you can invest into that website. It's easier now to make or have a website, not something that is too expensive, something that within the budget just explains who you are, what brands you've worked with, what services you provide, how to contact you, as easy as it is. And then as you engage with brands, you write vlogs, you connect them to your website, make it easy for people who are searching for influencers to find you and easily contact you. I think that's the best thing I can do for you now.
You just opened my eyes to some of these things. But you don't see them beyond the way you think, okay, maybe it would work, but maybe you don't see it cancelled. So to get a perspective, I want if you get a website it will choose around 1, 2, 3, because for the most part you think website you understand who's actively selling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't understand how you can just have a website. It is a brand, I say the photo, I say the company to say I say the reference, I say
Sure.
So that I don't know crash course. Who are you and what do you do?
Sure.
Who have you worked with? What are your numbers and all that stuff.
100%.
So, it's very interesting.
It's like doing research or communicating with someone without communicating with them. You said it, that brands are actually looking without telling you that they're looking, without talking to you.
You offer something to look at.
You give them something to look at. I've worked with this, I'm currently working on this. These are the campaigns that I have done. These are the results that I've gotten. That's it. Someone in the middle of the night somewhere in the US is searching for an African brand, ambassador who does 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're like, yeah, there's this guy. Okay, so there's connection to his social media. Let's go look into. But they didn't find you through social media in the first place, because if they can search you based on the numbers, the number of followers you have, there's a lot of people who have big numbers than you do. That could easily be the people but they're not looking for them, they're looking for you. So you might be lost in the numbers because we want a 500,000 person or a 2 million person, but when they look at the work that you have done and the results that you've gotten, then they're like, no, forget about someone who has 10 million for. We want this guy because of the results that we have. And I'll say this as the last thing. We mistake large number of followers as the biggest selling point.
That's the biggest selling point.
The biggest selling point is...
I think the reason why a lot of people make that mistake is because of the way so they don't say it as a composition. Number, engagement page, as a composition, so that you can say, yes, I have 15,000 followers, but so the way they look at it, they just say, only 50,000. That means when they show influence. Even if you're not doing anything that is influential, they will just say influencer because you have
a large number.
What is it? What type of work do you do? Do you do anything? I consider myself an influencer because I do this kind of work. No, it's not that. This is why it's always an argument. How can we mention that the influencer as a top mama? Hey, because people mention people with big numbers just because they have big numbers, not necessarily because they have this and this and this. The attribute is a motto, a social media influencer. Yes, I think that's the problem. 100%. The way Ibu Angati, it's as if it's just about the number of followers.
Thank you very much for that. One last question. Was it worth it sitting down with me in this matter? Be honest.
It was definitely worth it, because I think for the most part, I always get interviews where people are just asking me, what is it that you do, blah, 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 blah. So it's never an interactive conversation. Check out this, check out that. You can do this, you can do that. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Consider this, consider this. It's never that. It's just, what do you do? What do you start? So this is very interesting because it's very educational. Now there's something I need to think about. There's something I have learned. There's something I can talk and digest. What am I going to do going forward? Now that stress, I find a solution. So I'm very happy with
Thank
this.
you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
More than, because like I'm saying, I already understood that you are. So sometimes we're looking for people who we think they are truly struggling.
Yeah.
But I wanted kind of a diverse.
Yes.
I have an influencer, I have a consultant, I have a retail store. So I want that diversity so that we come together and have a conversation. By the time season 1 is done, we have 10 different businesses that we're talking about different challenges they have within the marketing space. So I honestly enjoyed it. Started a bit bumpy, but I think I finally enjoyed it.
No.
So maybe your last message to social media influencers, content creators. I think a lot of people take lightly the value of being a content creator. I think it's an investment for the long term, and people don't see it. That 5-10 years from now, social content creators, it's bigger. Millionaires are coming out of that. So what's your message to the people?
I want them to really understand this is a business. To understand it's a business. People want us to talk about numbers for them to understand what is it that we do. And we cannot talk numbers and say, I earn this much and this much. When I'm working with this and this and this, the amount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. We just need them to see that this can be a way of life. This can be work. This should be considered as work.
Sure. So it is work.
If it's work, it means the ethics. Also take yourself very serious. People don't understand that. Every time they say branding, and I always say taking yourself seriously.
100%.
That is my basic explanation. Take yourself very seriously, because if you do, everything that you're gonna do, they're gonna take you very seriously because you take yourself very seriously. So they should understand it's a business, and they should understand it's a growing business. 10 years from now, every big brand, it will be the ambassador.
100%.
Every big brand.
Yeah.
So if you think about it like that, everyone somewhere, it means you have to start now and say, when that time comes, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that movement. I want to be a part of those people who are going to benefit from that.
One last question. Now this is more you giving value to other people, because I think this is serious. A lot of people start content because I want to be like this guy, I want to do this, I want to create, and they don't understand niche. They don't understand the goal that they want to achieve as content creators. I believe that you can start content creation with a specific corporate as a target customer.
Yes.
You sit down and say, I'm going to create content from start. 2 years, just creating this content.
I'm going to make you a perfect example of that. For Multi-Mountain Dweller, we went for about 2 to 3 years constantly posting the product is that thing, how the consumer and so it's like when have a promotion, they will give me some goodies, we'll give you a blanket, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you some alcohol in your how you will be sharp. So it took about 2 years, constantly. So I had a goal. I wanted them. I really, really wanted them. I wasn't anything big, but
this is what I
wanted to work with them. And until it fell into place, 2020, they just come to the table and say, we are here, my man, so let's work. This is what we think. This is where we can start. This is after big. So it's important sometimes when the direction is specific. This is what I want. I wanna work with this kind of brands, and what I will focus on yes, because also you don't want to make content diversify.
100%.
But I'm dynamic. I with content
Sure, 100%. This is the core one.
This is the core. This is my strong point.
Sure.
So people should really understand niche. Niche is something that you are very, very good at. You just need to find one thing. That's the thing that supporter is.
Sure.
Just one thing that you say, you start a TikTok account, and I said, one thing I know for sure that I'm good at, go with that that farm, because people were not really doing it. People were not really doing it, this thing farm. So you like a little pitching about, I listened to a lot of farm, and I was like, you know what? I can always be account on TikTok, and I'm gonna concentrate on this thing. Then I'll start diversifying my content at TikTok or making jokes and making but I will never let this one go.
Sure.
Because this is my thing.
Sure.
So it has helped me moved from Farmo to move to our local senior hip hop and but the core one in the Farmo, because this one. So it's a niche. So niche you just find something that you're very, very good at, and say if content guys are pay, that is your niche. If fashion, that is your niche. If storytelling, that is your niche. And then you will do these other things, but find your niche so that you find something about we know this guy and we know this. You remember there was that thing you were doing Eddie Loot. That thing was so good. Because I started seeing what people enjoy this thing so much. Sure. They enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
And in training, this is really something I can do. Guys are there, and I know I can be very good at doing that thing. Sure. So niche is very important. They should really find their niche. Once you find your niche, you go with it, and then go on to diversify content. But be very intentional. Position, be very intentional about your position on social media. I engage and so that they know they know you are not going to come. He is not going to come, because we know this is not this type of thing.